All right, here are the solutions to the test 1 review. Number 1, find the greatest common factor, or GCF, of 12 and 28. So the way we do that is we break down 12 and 28 into all of the different factor pairs that we know of, okay? So even 1 times 12 is a factor pair, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay. Do the same thing for 28. 1 times 28, 2 times 14, and 4 times 7. So what I'm looking for is the greatest common factor, and that would be 4. Okay, so the answer here is 4. Number 2, reduce 15 over 45. We write down 15 over 45. The greatest common factor of 15 and 45 is 15. So we can just divide the top and the bottom by 15. And we get 1 over 3. Okay. Number 3, reduce 27 over 18. The greatest common factor of 27 and 18 is 9. So I'm just going to divide both the top and the bottom by 9. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Okay. Moving right along. Find the least common multiple, or LCM, of 4 and 5. So we're just going to write out 4 here and 5 here. And I'm going to start writing out multiples of 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. Now I'm going to write out the multiples of 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. And I'm going to stop there because I've found a common multiple. So the least common multiple of 4 and 5 is 20. So we could write LCM 4 comma 5 equals 20. And this is the work I want to see, because otherwise I don't know how you know that. Number 5. It's asking you a lot of stuff, okay? What the question is really asking you to do is to add 5 over 8 and 3 over 10. But I was trying to give you the steps. So it says find the lowest common denominator of 5/8 and 3/10. So if you want to add 5/8 and 3/10, you can't do it because they don't have common denominators. You need to find the LCD of 8 and 10. Okay, so if you were to sit there and go 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Okay, so like what we could do here is you could write down 8, you could write down 10. And you could start doing the LCM again. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. You can do the same thing with 10. 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh. So my lowest common denominator is really the LCM, the least common multiple, of 8 and 10. Okay? The lowest common denominator is really the least common multiple of both denominators. So you got to ask yourself, what do I need to multiply by 5/8 to make the 8 of 40? And the answer is 5 over 5. Okay, so down here on the second line, you need to take 5 over 8 multiplied by 5 over 5. Okay, so that equals 25 over 40. Then you do the same thing for 3/10, only you want to make the 10 into a 40. So instead of multiplying this one by 5 over 5, you'll multiply it by 4 over 4. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. 10 times 4 is 40. Now you can add them because you have common denominators. You have to have common denominators. Okay, so now we can say 25 over 40 plus 12 over 40. 25, 35, 36, 37. 25 plus 12 is 37 over 40. And 37 is a prime number. It has no factors other than 1 and 37. 40 is not prime, but they have no common factors, so that's the answer, 37 over 40. Okay? All right, moving right along to the back page. Most people got this. This is an identify problem. So we're trying to identify the slope of this line, 3/5 x minus 7, and it's just 3/5. I mean, this is an identify. Now identify the y-intercept of y equals negative 7x minus 3. This is another identify problem. It's just negative 3. Okay, so it could say slope is 3/5, y-intercept is negative 3. Okay, now we're going to graph. So the reason I want rulers here is because this does get really important. Let me show you exactly how I would do this. Graph y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So first I'm going to make a little note over here that my slope is 1 over 2 and my y-int is 3. Okay? So now I'm going to go to 1, 2. I'm going to go to 3 on the y-axis and put a dot. And now I'm going to use my slope and think of the rise over the run. Okay, well, it's 1 over 2. So that means I go up 1 over 2. So starting at 3, I go up 1 over 1 over 2. Okay, now here comes the ruler. You want that ruler, and you want to draw a line that goes all the way through the graph like that. So, just like that. Okay, number 9. Graph is y equals negative 3x plus 1. So again, start with that analysis. Your slope and your y-int. Slope is negative 3, which means it's going to be negative 3 over 1. and your y-intercept is 1. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just label these. Okay. We start off by plotting the y-intercept at 1. And now our rise over run. So rise over run, it's -3 over 1. So we go down 3 over 1 to the right. So down 1, down 2, down 3, over 1 to the right. So here's my next point. Straight edge, come in with the line, put arrowheads on both ends. There you go. Final problem, simplification. Okay. So the first thing we do is apply the distributive property to this 3 open parentheses x plus 2y. All that means is we're going to multiply out the 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2y is positive 6y. Then we just bring down the minus 3x and the minus 6y. Okay, and now we're going to combine like terms. Okay, so this was the distributive property. Now we're going to simplify by combining like terms. So here's one way to combine like terms. I like to highlight, okay, the x's and the y's. Kind of bring these together over here. I have 3x minus 3x. And then over here, I've got 6y minus 6y. You could think of these like grouped like this. Well, 3x minus 3x is 0. Six y minus 6y is 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. That's the answer, 0. Okay. So that concludes the test 1 review solutions.